Welcome to another episode of It's a Long Road, the Rambo series podcast. I'm your host, and with me today, of course, is my co-host, Dominic. Dominic
Hey.
T or Dom T or
Dom T or
Dom T.
whatever
Humpty
you want.
Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty.
Dom, how you doing, brother?
All right, man. How you doing, Ryan?
Doing well. Rambo 3. This is the season finale. I mean,
Season finale. I'm sad to see it go.
Rambo 3 has been a blast to review.
Mm-hmm. I have a new appreciation of it.
I hope our listeners who have gone with us during this 8-episode run of Rambo 3 also have a deep appreciation, because I dare say there has not been a podcast, and there's millions of podcasts, as you know, Dom, out there, millions.
Of course.
And I dare say there has not been a Rambo podcast, number one, like ours, number two, that has covered Rambo 3 in 8 episodes. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, I don't think anybody had the balls to do it.
I think it's fantastic. And we do have, listeners and fans of the podcast. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who listens to It's a Long Road, the Rambo series podcast. We are excited for the journey. We are excited to wrap up Rambo 3. The fourth film, Rambo, that's probably the best way to say it. The fourth film, Rambo, will be our next episode. So I suspect people will enjoy our coverage of that.
Rambo, the fight continues. Some of the DVDs
Rambo
have it. That's The Fight Continues. Did you ever see that?
Really?
Yeah, a DVD copy I have. It has a subtitle that says Rambo: The Fight Continues.
Okay.
I guess they were. I don't know.
Very interesting. My intention for those who are listening to this episode, my intention is to get the director's cut or whatever version.
Okay.
I've got a buddy who likes to, or is able to, find certain copies for me legally, of course, out there on the internet. And then he leads me to the link where I can also legally acquire this video. So I don't have a copy of Rambo the director's cut, so hopefully we'll have that. I think that's probably what we should do. Is the same with part 5. I think we need there's
the
a
extended
couple cuts.
the cowboy hat cut, more cowboy hat.
Yeah, Rambo 5, the Western. Donald calls it Fourth Blood.
That's honestly, Donald, that's probably the best way to refer to it.
Okay, but before we go into the film, we do have a Facebook comment from one of our, Chris, his name is Chris, probably our number one fan. Awesome. And maybe Donald as well. They're going to fight it out.
Donald's going to go kill him right now.
Yeah. But Chris is a great fan of the show. He's a real sweet guy, and he'll message me on Facebook, and he's one of the few people I allow to do that because he doesn't abuse that privilege. But he just likes to say that, that the show has helped him get through some hard times, and it buoys his spirit. So I know I don't get 1 million downloads per episode, but it's just nice to know that every now and then the little things we do as a hobby, it's really just a hobby. We make zero money off this. But what we do as a hobby makes people happy for a small moment of their day. And I don't know. I kind of like that. So thank you, Chris. Great. Anyone else that has a little bit of joy sparked in life because of the silly, stupid podcast we do, that's amazing. But he's actually really knowledgeable about the show Rambo, the Rambo films. He just commented on our last episode. He's a little bit behind, but he just sent the comment today. But it's actually good timing there, Chris. He said, listening to the episode 7 of Rambo 3 at work right now, really enjoying it. He told us that the torture chamber, remember we talked about what did Rambo remove from his shoulder before he went down to the torture chamber?
Right.
So he's saying that it was Rambo's bow quiver.
Okay. He just removed that for extra weight, to have the weight off him? Or
I guess for stealth. It's funny because he made it through the whole base with it on him, but I guess the torture chamber,
this is getting exhausting.
The torture chamber sequence required a little bit more stealth. Yeah. Okay. Now this one I think you'll find, of course you'll find it funny. So apparently, and I don't have it queued up, but I mean we can just go back and see it at some other time. But apparently that rock climbing sequence.
Okay, cliffhanger prequel, basically.
The cliffhanger prequel. Sly / the Rambo character, but Sly himself, he's wearing boots with no treads. Apparently, they're handmade boxing boots with Adonis fittings. Adonis. Thinking of Rocky. I see AD, and I went with Adidas fittings. Okay, so now keep that in mind. So he's wearing sort of custom-made boots that had Adidas fittings for the bottom. Now, a collector bought them.
Okay.
Do you want to have any guess what was on the bottom of the shoes? Any guesses?
Lifts.
Yes.
Yes. Short guy can relate.
Are you short? Are you?
I'm short. I guess I'm not that short. I'm about 5'8", 5'9".
Oh, you're short and bald. Boy, you poor guy.
I got everything.
Well, Italians, they're not known to be they're not a tall species, are
Right?
they?
No, we're not a tall species. We're not a tall people.
You don't meet very many tall Italians.
No, not in my family. Definitely not. I'm honestly one of the taller people in my
Yeah,
family. But
5'8", 5'9". You know, you're not getting laughed at.
yeah, I'm in a village of munchkins. I live.
I'm 6 feet with my lifts, meaning like when
Okay.
I wear shoes, I'm 6 feet tall.
I've never been a lift wearer, but as soon as you said it, I knew Stallone would have the lifts in his shoes.
You should get a toupee and lifts. You'd be a whole new man.
I got to get the Rambo 3 wig and the lifts, and I'll be perfect.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Guys, if you want to join we have a Facebook group. I think I link it in most of the maybe I don't. I think I do. But anyways, just Google on Facebook or search on Facebook the Rocky and Rambo series podcast. We've got 2,500 members strong in that public group. Google it, join it. There's no questions asked. Just join it. Also, we're on Twitter. It's a long road, the Rambo series podcast on Twitter. Again, if you just Google that, all the different links will come up. Also, I do have a Patreon that I do link out on every episode. What the Patreon does, guys, we do have this new StreamYard software. It's great. It's amazing. People can join us live while we're doing this. Then I post this stream to the Patreon. So people who are patrons, the stream is public at first. Like people will get to watch it on StreamYard. But when we're done going live, I then post this link on the Patreon. So they get the uncut raw video of a same day release of this episode. They don't have to wait for as low as $1 a month or more. You get a early release, uncut raw edit of the episode, and you help pay for the StreamYard yearly cost, which it does cost me a lot of money per year. Okay, but there you go. So that's how everyone helps everybody. Send us an email. We haven't gotten any emails in quite a while, which means nobody cares about us anymore. But send us an email and let us know what you thought of our Rambo 3 coverage or of the show in general. We'd love to hear from you, and of course, we'll read it out for you on our show. Well, without further ado, let's finish this film. So, of course, we ended with the sequence on our last episode with Rambo saying he is well done.
Yeah, right. The laughter, the applause.
I know I have to do that supercut at some point.
Well done.
Well done. Hey, did you see my video I posted of Richard Crenna on I Love Lucy?
No. Oh, you know what? I didn't watch it. I saw that you posted it. He was on I Love Lucy, right?
You have to see it.
How old was he in there?
26.
26. Wow.
Yeah. You wouldn't recognize his voice or anything, and he plays a character. He's supposed to play a teenager in the film. I think it's supposed to be like a high school student, but he's 26. Okay. He has a crush on Lucy, and he basically sexually assaults Lucy in the episode. I'm not even joking. I've been watching I Love Lucy like from the beginning. I have it on Paramount Plus. The show's on Paramount Plus, and of course, everyone says, "Oh, I've seen I Love Lucy." Yeah,
I've never seen an episode of I Love Lucy.
An episode. Oh, okay. Well, as a kid, I was a cable kid growing up. I watched a lot of reruns like Brady Bunch, Love Boat, all that kind of stuff. Stuff that was already not on the air anymore, but not that old. Even back in the 80s, I Love Lucy, of course, was old, but I saw many episodes, but I haven't watched it all the way through. So I'm watching it really all the way through for the first time in order of broadcast release. And it's amazing how stuff... I don't use the term age poorly because to me nothing ages poorly, but it's just funny how some humor you couldn't do today. It was on the I Love Lucy.
Right.
There's like Richard Crenna's character basically groping and you know
really
there's a few sequences of Lucy is like attacked by men.
Wow.
And it's played for laughs. Like I'm gonna assault you. But it's fantastic comedy. And what's fantastic about I Love Lucy is amazing how much they really do integrate like the singing and dancing into the show. And because Ricky Ricardo plays this band leader, and so we see him at his job, but he's really singing, and it's actually really cool. It's like I know I'm talking about I Love Lucy on a Rambo show. I've just lost all of our audience here.
He went way out left field.
I know. It's the standard of comedy, really. So and segue now, Rambo. It's the standard of action films. There you go. How do you like that?
Boom. It all worked out.
It all came back. Okay.
Давай!
Here we go.
We don't want to make it easy for him. We better split up. I'm sorry I got you into this, John. No, you're not.
Boy, another laugh track moment. I really should have bookmarked these laugh track moments. But
this last part of the movie is just filled with them. I feel like they're just throwing them. They're just going. They were just like throwing them at the wall. Like something's got to stick.
There'll be two cuts. I'm going to do a laugh track moment, which I might even do today because I have the day off today. I might just whip it together today. Rambo 3, the sitcom, right?
Yeah.
And then you could also recut this film where you take out those comments. So in this situation, that would be a situation where Troutman says, "I'm sorry I got you into this." And then
Right.
you just cut out Rambo's response and he runs
Right.
away.
Exactly. Different scene right there.
It would be a whole different scene. No comedy bits. Troutman's just apologizing. Troutman should apologize.
He did get him into this.
Yeah, Troutman should apologize. His mission at the very beginning of the film caused this mess. His mission was ridiculous.
Got kidnapped immediately.
Do we know what he did or what he was trying to do?
I remember we were trying to figure it out. I theorized that he was trying to get caught, so Rambo was gonna come save him. That was the whole plan.
So the whole mission was he gets caught, and then Rambo takes care of the business that Troutman couldn't take care of.
Exactly.
Right. That's a great shot. So the big Russian dude. This is like a video game, right? You know how in the video games you have to go through the different fighters, and so now we're on final level or final stage of the video game.
Right. You get the final boss.
Well, he's the semi-final boss. He's the physically, as far as physical strength and brutality, the big Russian bear soldier dude. He's like, the physical boss for Rambo to fight, and it's a great fight sequence. We're gonna get to it, but I love that sequence of him coming down the hole there, that dust coming off him as he's coming. That's a great
scene.
The Russian soldier bears now in the tunnels, these big ass tunnels with Rambo. Other soldiers are coming down too, of course. But I love the dust coming off.
Yeah, the dust coming off is a cool effect.
There he is. There's the big boss man right there.
Look at the eyes, serious.
He's a big boy though, eh? So the soldiers are they're looking around the tunnels, looking for Rambo, and of course Rambo has the ability and skills to hide in the shadows.
For stealth.
Now again, I know they have to have light in the movie to show characters, but I think we're supposed to think that this is actually in the dark. You can have night vision goggles. I've done a little bit of night vision goggle work in my Navy days. When I'm at sea, you put the night goggles on to see the ocean at night when you're a lookout. It has to be dark. Any light just comes through very bright.
It'll blind you, right?
Well, yeah, it overpowers. It's really cool. They do work. They look just like that. But with that sunlight that's coming in the cave, you wouldn't need night vision. It would actually mess up your vision.
Right.
But the guy's looking around for Rambo. It's dark in the cave. And
imagine the horror, the terror as you look over and you see that.
So for our listeners, the guy's looking around. So we're seeing the vision of the guy. We're seeing his look through the night vision goggles, and Rambo pops over a rock. And I love how Rambo doesn't need night vision goggles.
Right. He just sees in the dark.
He sees in the dark, gets the guy with the bow and arrow. Clean shot right through and through. Rambo doesn't need night vision goggles. Now earlier,
I would see him with cat eyes or something running around. Sylvester Stallone, his eyes glowing or something.
Probably a swear word or something.
Are you listening?
Who are you?
Your worst nightmare.
They really wanted to recreate the Rambo too. I'm coming for you.
Exactly. So for our listeners, of course, who don't watch this on YouTube, Rambo picks up the walkie-talkie of the dead soldier, talks to the main bad guy who's flying around the helicopter, and he's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Your worst nightmare." Exactly what Dom was saying. That's a kind of a nod to, "I'm coming to get you."
Gripping the microphone with all the veins.
He should have said, "I'm coming to get you." Oh wait, I mean, I used that already.
He probably tried to put the same line, and they were like, "Sly, we did this last time. Got to change it up a bit."
Weird if that really happened. If that exchange really happened, your worst nightmare. Do you think the Russian soldier would be like, okay? But I love how those words did affect the guy because you see his face like, oh. This American soldier means, because to the Russian guy, really, yes, he's seen that Rambo has caused a lot of carnage, but I don't know. I just love how Rambo speaking to him now has really kind of put a little bit of fear into the Russian leader.
He's getting closer.
So we got some more kills coming up. Russian soldiers are running around, and some birds or doves flying in the sea caves.
I just saw something.
It's like a dove or something. It's like a little John Woo nod.
John Woo and the doves.
So Rambo stabs one soldier in the neck or something. So I love how Rambo now has kind of exposed himself. He runs by and the guys
Mhm.
shoot at him because they see this figure running. Now, how do they know that wasn't one of their comrades running around?
Right, right. And then Troutman's just watching. He's just he's just watching Rambo kill all these people.
Well, yeah, well, Troutman said we should split up. We should make it difficult for them to split up. What has Troutman done?
Yeah,
Really, in this?
basically, yeah, I don't know. It was like the Scooby-Doo kind of thing. Like, all right, we'll go here, you go there, and then I'm gonna watch you kill all these people as I hide behind the rock.
So Rambo has placed a blue light on the cave floor to distract a soldier. It's like a trap. It's like putting breadcrumbs into a box where the rabbit
Right.
will come in. You trap the rabbit in a box.
Mm-hmm.
So I love again how we're led to believe these blue glow sticks are so unique and crazy. The soldier's like, what is this alien technology? Right? Is that what we're led to believe that this is supposed to be happening?
Right.
Here?
And where'd he get the glow sticks anyway?
He's got them tucked in his trousers, I guess. He had a couple in his trouser pocket ready for these situations.
When he was going through the supplies that he needed, he was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna need blue glow sticks."
He breaks the stick. He traps it there for a Russian soldier to pick up. What I love is, you see, it turns blue, remember? Now, were glow sticks new technology then? Are we supposed to let to believe as a 1988 viewer, we the audience too, we think this is cool?
Possibly, yeah. When did glow sticks come out?
Somebody Google glow sticks for us. So the Russian soldier picks up the glow stick. Oh, I see. It's tied to a grenade. That's right.
He's fascinated by it. He just had to pick it up. Like,
oh man, what I love is that. Okay, so for our listeners, so Rambo had somehow tied some string to the glow stick to a grenade. Oh, he might have taken the grenade from the soldier. That's fair.
oh yes, yeah. The guy he just killed, right? Yeah, maybe he got that.
But wouldn't it have been easier just to hide somewhere and to stab the guy silently than to have an explosion alerting everyone?
Right. He wanted to use that glow stick. He was dying to use that glow stick.
I've got one left. There's only 10 minutes left in the film.
I think it's really distracting, you know?
So, of course, now another Russian soldier is dead due to the explosion. Trauman's still looking around.
Still,
He has
still in the shadows.
He's hiding. He hasn't killed anyone yet. So there you go. That's a proper kill right
Was
there.
that
Rambo
Troutman or Stallone?
No, that was Rambo.
was-
Troutman
oh,
can't
okay.
break a guy's neck.
I just saw elbows.
Yeah, right. That was a Troutman breaking the neck. Unlikely. I got another glow stick right here.
I'm gonna look good when I shoot this arrow right now if I put the blue glow sticks around me.
So Donald said 1971 was when they started making glow sticks.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! All right.
So they're 17 years old, but I feel like in this film we're getting a real kick out of these glow.
It
Like
was
we get
new-
another glow sticks.
I can imagine like the week before Stallone, like somebody showed him a glow stick and he didn't know what it was before that. He's like, "Oh, I put this in Rambo."
Well, somebody showed him a glow stick, and he probably asked, "What does it do?"
Well, it glows.
It glows blue there, Sly. Oh, that's great. I like that. So now Rambo has tied a glow stick to his arrow. Let's see what happens. Lining up, good. Okay, wait. Okay, well, oh my goodness. Okay, that's right. Oh my goodness. Okay, folks. So he ties a glow stick to an arrow, which you gotta figure is going to affect the weight of the arrow, the aim.
Definitely.
But we know Rambo's that good at
Figure it out.
Figuring out how the arrow was affected by having because the glow stick taped her somehow to the arrow. It's not going to be. It's not equally weighted. It's on top, or no matter where you put it on the circular part of the arrow, it's going to wobble, wouldn't it? Because when it spins,
right?
Am I crazy? Am I going crazy here?
You're thinking logically.
Okay, but it doesn't matter in Rambo's world. It doesn't matter. Go back and watch what the purpose of this is. Now I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you. That's a great shot there, though. I mean,
that's why
great.
the shot.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. No, he hits the guy with the arrow. All the other Russian soldiers around him are spooked by that, and they shoot their fellow soldier because he's blue. Like that's what happened. But they're like, I heard Rambo's blue. So if we ever see a blue guy, shoot him. If you see a Smurf in the cave, shoot it. Why would you shoot somebody just because they're blue?
No idea. Makes no sense.
Watch. Rambo knows. If I make this guy blue, they're gonna shoot him.
I just love the shot of him.
Blue guy, shoot him. See, he's blue. Isn't that fantastic?
I'm glad I brought those glow sticks,
He's also made those soldiers run out of ammo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so more soldiers walking around trying to find Rambo.
Troutman update. He's still done nothing.
Troutman has done nothing. So
Wow.
the big Russian dude, he's with another soldier, the Russian bear. So the Russian bear is with a fellow soldier. They're looking for Rambo. Rambo comes out of the shadows to shoot his arrow. They see him. They both open fire on him, but they miss him completely. And Rambo just sits there while they're shooting at him. I got to make this shot. I got to make this shot.
And then the Russian soldier grabs the other
The
guy.
Russian
He's
bear. Yeah, the Russian bear is like, yeah, Rambo really wants to shoot me with arrow. And so he grabs his little Russian. The guy's like so tiny. He uses him as a human shield for the arrow. Look at that. This arrow was explosive for some reason. Oh, it is explosive. He had explosive warheads. Remember, he put it on for the copter. So he's taking different quivers out of his.
Mhm.
He's taking different arrows out of his quiver. For this sequence, he knew he wanted an explosive arrow. Now, remember what that arrow did to the helicopter?
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
Why is the Russian bear able to survive the explosion with the...
Exactly.
I mean, I love this, but this is insane. We'll see the sequence play out here with the Russian bear and the arrow. But then right after, Rambo was about to be... And legit, if Troutman didn't exist,
Mm-hmm.
Rambo would have been killed by some side character in this film. Okay,
100%. That just gets me every time.
I love that music cue.
S1 for Troutman.
It's good timing. What are friends for? You get back to the hole. I'll cover you, see if there's any more left.
Any more left? I got more people. Okay, so he tells Troutman to get back to the hole. I'll take out the rest of the soldiers. Now we're led to believe that the Russian bear is dead. That's what's happening here. So that we think the Russian bear. Logically, we would think the Russian bear is dead.
Assume
Because...
he exploded. The guy in front of him exploded. That should do it.
So more running from rock to rock, shadow to shadow. Russian soldiers are left. Rambo still has to take care of them. See, there you go. He took out 3 Russian soldiers.
Right, he just took out. Yeah, this the science doesn't make sense here.
The Russian bear should be dead. Now, rope climbing. Did you ever do rope climbing in gym class or anything?
I would die immediately. I would just... No, I've never done it.
So Sly, obviously, doing this for real / Rambo. The character climbing up the rope. How did Troutman get up there? Are we led to believe Troutman did that too? Come on.
I don't know about that. Guy was hiding in the shadows. I doubt he climbed the rope. And he got far, too. He got really far. Like, how fast is Troutman?
This is ridiculous. So, okay. Okay, so we just saw the sequence of Rambo climbing up that rope, and that makes sense. Look how Rambo looks / Sly. We see him really doing this upper body strength. Are we led to believe Troutman could do this?
Troutman?
Come on.
No way.
And not only did he get up the hole, Troutman's already like 2 miles away.
He's 2 miles away. He was leaving him there, I think.
Waits at Rambo. Hey, good job coming up the hole, buddy. I'm over here. Oh, I see you there, Troutman.
How'd you get up there so fast?
Wait for me. But how did the Russian bear get up there?
Maybe the explosion blew him up to the surface level.
You got to figure he's concussed to some degree. Like, he literally had an explosion that could take out a helicopter in front of him. He gets up the hole before Troutman, and Rambo hides behind what? I don't know. He's a big guy. But now he grabs Rambo's neck as he comes out of the hole.
This scene is filled with classic Stallone.
What I love is we do see the injuries of the Russian bear. Oh, you're the guy that I blew up.
Half of his face.
Which leads us to believe just this is a monster of a character. This guy can take an explosion. Now, as silly as the sequences or this film in general, this is why I love this film. This is why I love this film a lot now. I'm really loving this film because we see the things that we should have had in Rambo 4.
Right.
He's going hand to hand with somebody. And I talked about this. Actually, I think I talked about this in one of the other seasons where, and maybe I just forgot about the sequence in general, or just where Rambo needs to fight a guy like this. Like, he needs to fight an equal.
A match, right?
A match, a physical match. Not just the stealth and the arrows and the gun shoot. Great. But a hand-to-hand combat with a guy who's brutal. And he does that in this film. And this is actually one of the better sequences in all the Rambo films when it comes to combat. Russian soldier picks him up by his neck. They start just tossing each other around. I love how the Russian bear could have just stomped on his head and had Rambo just fall to the ground, cave below.
Right.
But he decides, I'm going to pick you up by your neck, and we're going to fight hand-to-hand.
I want to fight you. Rambo
pulls out his knife, which is great. He's like, okay, I don't care about fairness or whatever. You want to strangle me, throw me around, that's your choice. I'm going to pull out my knife, and I'm just going to stab you with my knife. But Russian Bear's like, no, I'm going to kick you in the face instead. Knife goes flying.
Now, at this point, I don't know if he was trying to gouge out his eyes or rip out his throat like Patrick Swayze from Roadhouse, but he's doing something there. Claw.
Yeah, we know that Rambo's strength with his hands is very, very strong. We see that played out in Rambo Last Blood, and we'll save that sequence. But he does have the ability to rip things out from your body. So he was grabbing this guy's face. No luck. Russian Bear is a strong dude.
This turns into a wrestling match real quick.
I love it. The good body flip there. Now Rambo's rolling around, trying to choke him out, sleeper hold, like a la Rocky 3 with Thunder Lips.
Catch me!
So remember when Trauma says, grab the rope.
The rope. I know. I thought about that. The rope. He sees the rope and he's like, oh, Trauma was right.
Now he's wrapping this rope 100 times around Russian Bear's neck. I don't think you have to wrap it that many times, but he gets it around the neck. He somehow gets the thing tied around the guy's neck. Fair enough. It's not strangling the guy.
Looking for blood.
Yeah, Troutman, he's so far away. Like, Troutman really is useless because he's so far away, he can't get there in time.
He got such a head start climbing that rope that he's so far away.
Had Troutman been any closer, he could have shot this Russian Bear when he grabs Rambo by the neck, just like he shot the guy in the cave earlier. He could have done it again. He could have been the hero twice. But no, he had to run away 2 miles away. And he can't get a clean shot, of course, because they're tangled up. He's afraid he might hit Rambo trying to hit the Russian Bear. This guy's now doing some sort of back-breaking, what do you call it? Like some sort of back-breaking hold on Rambo, but it's also squeezing his side wound too. So it's excruciating pain for Rambo. Okay, so he gets him up in that bear hug. So he's squeezing the wound because we get a shot of the wound coming up right here. Like, remember the wound? Get that away. Stop squeezing the wound. Can you see how he tries to pull his hand away from the wound? That's funny.
And this guy made the mistake of wearing grenades.
I do love this, yes. So, of course, now Rambo's like, despite the pain, despite the agony, I got to figure out a way to get this guy. He's going to pull the guy's grenade pin. It's not a bad idea because the guy wouldn't want to die. So he has to let go of Rambo. So that's fair. That's fair play. He's like, okay, you pulled my pin. Now, if he was suicidal, you'd be like, fine, you pulled the pin, whatever. You're coming with me.
He could have hugged him or something.
Yeah, because Rambo actually, he's shown that he cannot get out of this hold. Had that grenade not been on that Russian's chest, I guess Trauma would eventually have gone there because you're not going to kill Rambo with that bear hug. It's going to take a long time to crush his ribs or whatever it is. But yeah, so pulls the pin. Smart move. Let's be honest. Smart move. So the Russian soldier is now trying to get the grenade off his chest. The pin's been pulled. He's panicking. Fair play. Okay.
Essentially hits him with like a Mortal Kombat finisher here.
A nod to the earlier part of the film. He's learned martial arts. I don't think that was ever indicated in the first two films that he knew any martial arts.
Right.
Remember in First Blood when the cop's reading off his biography, Medal of Honor, all this stuff. He's also fought the Kumite.
With Frank
Dukes. Frank Dukes.
Put up your dukes.
Oh, man. I love that movie so much. Hey, if you haven't, check out my Last of the Action Heroes podcast feed and check out my Bloodsport review. Check that out. I love that film so much. Both were released in 88, by the way. What a great year.
That was a year I was born, too. 88.
Oh, fantastic year.
Came with that.
I knew that when I was watching Bloodsport and Rambo 3. I was like, one day I'm going to podcast with Dom.
One day.
It's all come full circle. Okay. Great roundhouse kick. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen this film in a while or just come to our YouTube page, you just have to witness that roundhouse kick. Why the roundhouse kick? Why couldn't you just like...
Beautiful execution. I don't know. He does like the trifecta as we see the next two things. Worst. Could be the worst possible way to die.
Pin gets pulled. He could have just done like a football, like boom, like tackle or something.
No.
It's got to be roundhouse kick.
He's sending a message here with his roundhouse kick.
Hi-ya! Russian Bear falls into the hole. The rope is flying down. You mentioned the trifecta. You're right. So he has his neck breaks. And he blows up.
And neck broken. Kick to the face. He don't even know what's going on at this point. He just got hit with that 3 combination thing. It all happened so fast.
That's awesome. So now Rambo has more ammunition. It's just like a video game when you pick up the loot of the character you've killed.
You kill somebody and you get glow sticks.
So Rambo now has the rocket launcher type weapon, like those machine guns. This is a big thing back in the 80s action films too, where machine guns were also employed with rocket launcher ammunition. They're gonna have a little conversation here. Oh, I want to say too, that sequence there. I saw this movie in the theaters when I was 13, and my
Mhm.
brother, who was 11, came with me. My mother took us to the film because obviously we were too young to go by. It's so funny watching this now. This is so trite to compare. Like, there's
Oh,
TV.
yeah. So much more violence on TV now.
My mother saw what was coming. She knew that this guy was going to, once the pin was pulled, she obviously figured out that the guy was going to blow up. So she covered my 11-year-old brother's eyes to not see the guy get blown up. And I remember laughing at my brother afterwards, like, aha, you didn't see the cool scene. I did.
Across the valley's the border.
We did it, John.
Yeah. Wait.
What exactly did they do, though, when you really think about it?
Good question, because, again, Troutman was sent on a mission by the government, right? He was a Black Ops mission. Nobody knows he's there officially.
Right.
That mission failed. It still has failed. It has not been accomplished.
We did it, John. You killed a lot of people in that cave. We did it.
Maybe the mission was kill as many Russians as you can.
Right.
We did it, John. Yeah, we killed lots of people. And Donald brings up, quote, we did it, John.
As I watched in the shadows, he was behind a wall just watching him.
Troutman, you failed your mission. Granted, Troutman did say, get the rope, grab the rope.
Right. He did bring the rope to the party.
He did bring the rope. And look how great Sly looks here. His upper torso is so huge, his skinny little waist.
You could see him flexing, you know? Like,
yeah. Why does he look all cleaned up right now? He looks really good. Like, he looks freshly oiled down, a little bit cleaned up.
He's got a little bit of the Hulk Hogan, like, hot dog skin going there, honestly.
He's in Afghanistan. He's got a bit of a tan going on.
What the hell is that? The son of a bitch.
Who's he referring to? The son of a bitch. Did they actually believe they killed the whole Russian army? Like, is that what they...
They killed like 3 people in a cave, or Rambo killed 3 people in a cave.
Yeah. Maybe 5, right?
Right.
So they killed 5 to 7, 10, whatever. 10, 20 people were killed by Rambo and sort of Troutman during this escape. So Troutman's like, that son of a bitch. He has more of an army than 10 people. Yeah, you're in the base. There's hundreds of soldiers. Hundreds.
You didn't think this was going to happen?
Thought he would be okay and just leave us alone.
They thought they were just going to walk right out. Like,
now, this is absolutely ridiculous because this
yeah.
sequence.
This is a good one.
I love it. Here we go. So we see tanks, armaments of all sorts, and everything's coming out. You even hear listen to the soundtrack.
2 human beings versus all that. 2 human beings with like a couple of guns.
At this point right now, the helicopter could just unload its arsenal. Right
Unload
Just-
everything. Riddle them
why
with
not?
bullets. It's like a James Bond movie. Everybody's always got to give their speech to the hero before they kill him.
They're just 2 American soldiers. One is high ranking and one is shirtless and lived with the Buddhist people.
I could argue they could have even just drove their tanks up and ran them over. Like they had time to just do that.
Yeah, actually, I saw a video on YouTube just like 2 days ago of a tank running over a car at full speed. They can fly.
Right. That's the thing. Just put the pedal to the metal and just run over this long-haired son of a bitch.
Anyone who's listening to the show knows what we're talking about. Now, look, the shot looks great. This is great.
Right.
This is great action film shot.
This
It's
is
just
them
a
versus the
ridiculous situation. So the shot is them over the shoulder. We're seeing their point of view, of course, the Russian army and the Russian leader in his big ass helicopter, right in the dead center, lining up. Great soundtrack. Rambo and Troutman are looking around. I love how they're not panicking.
Yeah, they're just very calm, you know. Like,
been
surprised
here before.
Troutman didn't take off running at this.
Yeah, Rambo, I think we should split up again.
Yeah. That would have been a good spot for it.
You stay here.
You kill all these people, and I'll help out when I have the time. I'm gonna go find more rope. Stay here.
We might be able to use it again.
Do not try to retreat. You cannot escape. We will not attack if you do not run. We do not want to hurt you.
Somehow I don't believe him.
I order you to come forward, and you will be given a fair trial. Drop your weapon and remain where you are.
You got any ideas?
Drop your weapon.
Surrounding them's out.
Laughter.
Hell of a time for humor, John.
Laughter.
Drop the weapon now. You have no chance of escape. Come forward.
Puts like one bullet in.
This is your last warning.
The Russian leader is saying, we don't want to hurt you. Don't run away. We won't shoot. We'll give you a fair trial, which is just code. We'll torture you endlessly.
100% lie. Like 100% of a lie.
They just want these two guys to torture. I think they've run out of people because they've released all the citizens from the camp. So they're out of people to torture. Remember, that camp is just a torture camp.
Right. But they got to fill that torture camp up. So these two look like two candidates.
That's the only reason I have for keeping them alive. They're not going to give them a trial, and we know it won't be fair. I think these Russian soldiers are just sadistic. They need to torture people.
Exactly.
This guy pulls in next to the helicopter and just does a warning shot on Troutman and Rambo. Very good aim, by the way.
Right. Even there, he could have blew off one of their toes or something. Like, you know.
Yeah, imagine if it hit his toe. Ah!
Yeah.
And the Russians are like, you're more supposed to hurt them.
The choice is yours.
What do you say, John? Fuck him.
As he launched that, they have so much time to just fire back right here.
Right. The guy that did the warning shot could just shoot again. Now, they will shoot back very quickly, but now their aim is really bad all of a sudden. Rambo says, screw him. Fires his rocket launcher, the one that he had chambered. It goes off. I understand in the theaters and what have you, this is supposed to be a fun, silly moment of Rambo against the army. We're also kind of led to believe that, yeah, Rambo will figure out how to get out of this. Let's just watch. Let's see how this plays out. Oh, okay. So his one rocket launcher, for some reason, he aimed it at the supply truck.
The one truck that wasn't threatening. It was probably a truck full of medics or something. Just
It was the water truck. They had water and their lunch and water was in that truck. He didn't shoot the helicopter that's mobile and is full of arsenal. So the helicopter is shot at, flies up in the air, and it lays its rounds out at Troutman and Rambo. Misses them completely, flies overhead. They're in the trench now. Luckily, there's a trench there.
I wish we'd have taken that bastard with us.
So even Troutman says, if we're going to die, why could you hit the helicopter?
Exactly. He's out for blood, Troutman. We know that.
So look at all these soldiers. Just look how many there are. So that's his second round. He only had 2. Now he's got 3 for some reason. Okay. Or maybe there's one in the chamber already. Now he's out. He's got to be out. He only had 3 max.
Is Troutman even firing anything, or is he just?
Well, no, he's too scared. Come on. There's a lot going on here. So Rambo has poked his head out numerous times. There is just, you see how much people are shooting at them in this
They had
hole?
clean shots, especially with hair like that. They could have spotted his head in the crosshairs.
So they're just laying fire. The fire has ceased. Okay, you know what this sequence reminds me of? Did you ever watch Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Obviously, the writer of this film, which is Sly, he stole this from Lord of the Rings.
Which one?
Part 2.
Okay.
Gandalf coming over the peak.
Oh, okay.
Because remember when they were all fighting those orcs and they're completely
Right.
outnumbered?
Right.
And they were like, how are these guys going to get out of... And Gandalf comes over the peak with the big white sequence of the horse charging down the hill.
Yes.
That's this moment right here. So they're surrounded by orcs. There it is. There's Gandalf coming over the hill.
Those are my friends.
It's the rebels. Gandalf again. We're going to come back to Gandalf. Anyway, so now the rebels on their horses have come to attack the army. Rambo runs out of his trench. The army, of course, has changed their focus to the bigger threat, which is a bunch of people on horses. Oh, boy.
Yet again.
And the boy, of course, the boy's with them. I can't remember if the kid gets a kill.
I don't think he does.
So we have our own little, Battle of Rohan here. We've got army trucks versus horses, and we've got the helicopter flying around, laying waste, rightfully so, to a bunch of... I love how they just take out these guys on horses and everything. So Rambo finds a 50 cal again.
You got to make a cut of that. Just him running up to 50 cals.
Troutman got 1 kill.
There we go.
So Rambo is just laying to waste. So that's what makes Rambo 4, the 4th Rambo film, a little bit weak. We just see, this is what I'm getting at. That sequence of Rambo right there on the back of the truck. Cool. Laid out some people with the big heavy machine gun. Great. Moves on. That's what didn't happen in the 4th Rambo film. They just made that sequence longer and bloodier. That's all. I'm just saying, I know a lot of people claim, I think they forget Rambo 3 had all that stuff.
just a gore fest, part 4.
Yeah, it's just gorier. I think that's why people kind of liked it, because everything was just bloodier and bigger. But there's a lot of kills here, and Trauma got hit in the shoulder. Now look at the gun that Rambo's carrying here. So the boy, I guess the boy does sort of officially get kills because he's letting off rocket
launching
launchers.
missiles. Yeah,
Trauma's just useless. This whole film is his fault. Everyone that died right now is because of Troutman.
And every time there's an issue, like some shit goes down, he just runs away. That's usually how he handles it.
Oh, it's the Hollywood Afghani guy. He's back. Oh yeah, Trauma's loaded up with a 50 cal. Here we go. Now there's a good action sequence. So Rambo grabs a Molotov cocktail from a Russian soldier or Afghani soldier. Sorry, I'm thinking alcohol with Russians. So he grabs a Molotov cocktail. Watch this action. Silly as can be, but it looks cool. Look at that. Look at that.
That's a scream.
Look at this. What was the purpose of that sequence? He didn't hit anybody with the cocktail.
He's showing he's not afraid.
That's a great shot there, though. He's delivering his Bud Light back to the company after that campaign. You take it back.
I made it into a cocktail.
I guess his intent is to throw this alcoholic beverage at the helicopter.
I guess so. I guess that's the only thing we come to, because he's just charging at a helicopter.
He's charging at the helicopter, and the helicopter's like, I don't like that. That does look dangerous, and he looks really angry.
Imagine just hearing the scream, like being on the helicopter.
Yeah, he's... The tank takes him out. You can see that it's a stunt double. Did you catch it? And you can see it's a stunt double. Rightfully so. It's a stunt double falling on the horse. And there was another stunt double shot. I thought about cutting it. It's actually during our last episode. I only caught it when I was editing. It's when Rambo's just doing hand-to-hand combat. There's a sequence that's really not him. It looks like some Kumite fighter. Yeah. Yeah. Doing some of the karate stuff against the soldier. Right here,
wow. Who is that guy?
Yeah, look at that.
Amazing.
Look at that. I love it. This is the stuff, guys. Come to our YouTube channel or watch this on our live streams, because this is the gold you get. Who's this?
Doesn't have as good
Bollywood
of hair.
Bollywood Rambo.
Yeah, right. Doesn't have as good as hair as Sylvester Stallone, I gotta say.
And it's really long too.
Yeah, very long.
It might be the stunt double's real hair. Is he wearing a black bandana right now? Is he actually wearing a black bandana?
I guess so. I think it's just like blended with his hair that you can't see it.
Just hiding his widow's peak a little bit, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to sit on this shot forever looking at this guy. I told you I could even catch that it wasn't a slide during the real time. I could see it wasn't him.
I don't know how I didn't notice that. No, that fall on the horse was probably too dangerous for Sylvester Stallone to do.
Oh, well, sure, that's legit. Yeah. Okay. He still grabs the bottle, still like
he's still trying.
Oh, Rambo gets hit in the leg, folks.
He's trying to use that bottle so bad.
Remember the sequence of Saving Private Ryan when the tank came over the guys?
Yes.
Boy, it's Saving Private Ryan ripped off Rambo 3. Was it Matt Damon's character? I can't remember. When the tank came over?
Spielberg ripped it off.
That's right. Spielberg is a hack.
He's a hack.
Compared to Peter McDonald, director of Rambo 3. So now Rambo's going to put that Molotov cocktail into the tank, of course. Check out the power this cocktail has. Trauma takes out the tank driver, the tank gunman. Look at that.
Yeah, that's why he's been dying to throw that thing. That's why.
He hit the tank. The Molotov cocktail to the back of a tank will do nothing. It will do nothing. It's just alcohol on fire or gasoline on the back of a tank. You think a tank isn't built to withstand that? And they're now, granted, the boy is hitting that same tank with mortars. Look at his face. He's like, I'm working with Rambo. Look how happy he is with Rambo. Look at the joy in his eyes.
We just killed people.
We killed people together, Rambo. Me and you. The father he always wanted to have. Of course, now the tank can't move anymore. Russian soldier comes out to fight.
He just, he weakened it a little bit.
That's right. He weakened it. The soldiers were stunned inside. Now the tank is being hit by the helicopter.
And it's on fire.
So Rambo's operating the tank. And now the tank is taking out the other Russian tanks because they don't quite know that Rambo is taking over a tank, so they're confused. Why are we friendly firing each other? The Russian leader in the helicopter knows what's going on. So they're having a shootout here, folks. It's tank versus copter.
Here we go.
So the copter flies over it, and that's a great shot, though. I love that shot. The helicopter flies over the tank, and you have that smoke swirling behind the tank. So again, ridiculous action. None of it makes sense. This would never happen in the real world. But however, we're talking about an action film, and it's filmed beautifully. It really is. It looks fantastic. So Rambo's tank is getting hit by the copter. Now the copter will fly over the tank. Watch the swirling of the smoke behind the copter. It's just a great shot because there's no drones back then, so you would have to have another aircraft behind the helicopter.
Right.
So here we go. Explosions everywhere. Helicopter comes. Rambo and the tank have a face-off, a quick little shootout together. Rambo's startled or shook. He can't fire back. The helicopter flies over. Watch, look at the swirling right here, there, and then that's just great. That's a great shot. Trautman takes a shot at the helicopter, takes out the gunman. The Russian leader is upset about that loss. I think now they're looking at each other, squaring off each other. More swirling of smoke. Tank versus copter. No CGI. This is a copter flying that low to the ground. Isn't that a great shot?
Amazing.
Great stunt work, film work by. So Rambo's firing. The helicopter's flying low, firing back. The tanks.
Trautman just he might as well have popcorn and just be eating it while he watches.
He's got a front row seat to the tank versus copter showdown. And we all know the sequence, folks. It's a game of chicken. A helicopter versus tank. Now, in all seriousness, which one would win? Does the rifle vehicle win this match?
I don't know.
Now they weren't this far apart. They're both traveling at top speed, but they're like,
that ain't no regular helicopter.
Trautman's yelling, John, get off.
Yet again with the screams.
Yeah. Rambo actually took out the Russian leader with his machine gun from the tank. So now everyone in the copter is dead, but I guess it's too late for John to turn the tank around. But we'll just play it for our live stream, people. We're going to play the sequence out.
John, get out of there!
John, get out of there! Takes out his co-pilot.
You just do a cut of all Stallone's screams in this movie.
Because there's a part of John, he's actually doing his dying yell. Like, that's his warrior yell.
That's it. He's going down.
He's not sure the tank can withstand the impact either, or if he'll survive the impact. So he's doing it for guts and glory, man. It's guts and glory.
Like Trautman said, he wished they could take that son of a bitch with him, and he's doing it.
He's doing it. I would love to see Sly in the after, what do you call it, ADR?
Yeah. Because that's in the recording studio, right?
Okay, Sly, that's not bad. That's not bad. Remember, you're driving the tank into the helicopter. We need a little bit more death cry. Go.
Is that better? A little bit more?
That sounds like you stubbed your toe. One more time.
Don't forget, you're possibly going to die here. Sly. Think Rocky 3, screaming when Mickey's dead.
So the vehicles everywhere, pieces everywhere. Trautman at this moment is like, he could be dead. Then they cut to the little kid. Hey, John, remember when we had that moment together killing people? Now he's sad again. So we're now inside the tank, the debris, bloody Rambo. He's still breathing, folks. He's still breathing. Victorious music comes in. You can't keep a good man down, guys. No way. No way. We got part 4 to do still. There's no way.
We're going to wait way too long to do part 4.
Here's a question. While Rambo's getting out of the wreckage, we all know he victoriously comes out and the Afghanis cheer. Oh, yeah. I also want to say, why is the whole Russian army dead now?
Everybody just killed themselves the second they saw Rambo do that move.
Exactly. Again, another Lord of the Rings moment. We know in Lord of the Rings, when when the ring gets destroyed, all the bad guys die.
Right. That's exactly what happened here.
Yeah. So the Russian leader dies, so all the orcs run away.
The perfect hair. Without bandana.
I should have really put the bandana back on. You can see that I'm losing hair up there now. Because he's got the little frill in the front there to kind of cover up the...
Right.
This is his real hair here, but it's one of the last movies where we see real hair.
Right. And especially at that length. Because then the next time you see a shot like this, it's like a rat on his head in Rambo 4. It's like it's an animal. I don't even know what especially that last shot. We'll get to it when we get to that. But
yeah, we should compare the Rambo hairline.
you should
That'd actually
compare
be good.
this shot to the last shot in Rambo 4 when he finally goes home.
Oh, shot for shot. Yeah.
Because I just remember being like in the theater being taken back when I saw that dude.
I might just put it up for the video. I might just put the picture up right now with this picture and compare the two. Before we get to our final thoughts of the film, because we're wrapping up here, put it in your back burner, in your mind. Why didn't we have Rambo 4 sooner? Where's all the Russian soldiers? Did they literally just like, I'm out of here. I can't do this.
I'm done. This guy just drove a tank into a helicopter. I'm done.
There's no way we could defeat this guy. He's willing to do whatever it takes to beat us. I'm out of here. There was a lot of Russian soldiers. Or do I forget? Are they captured right now? Maybe they're captured prisoners of war.
Maybe.
No? Oh, they're...
Is there anybody? Or is that... No, it's all good guys.
Was that... No,
oh,
you're right.
yeah,
Prisoners
they
of
are.
war. They're
Yep.
prisoners of war. My apologies. Are they going to get a fair trial or are they going to get tortured?
They're definitely getting tortured. Troutman's going to come out. That's a post-credit scene. Troutman walks out with a knife, with Rambo's knife.
Because we know that Troutman loves to torture. He's going to hang up everyone by their arms now.
Got the rope.
Yeah, the rope. He uses that same rope. So the guy asks, you don't want to stay? You think I want to stay around this crap?
Why would I want to stay? You sure you don't want to stay? He's making it like he's moving to Hawaii or something. No, I don't want to stay.
It's sunny here. Well, we got sun, we got dirt, we
have war every day, literally.
You don't want to stick around? We sure could use a guy like you.
Want to stay? You fight good for a tourist. Maybe next time.
Oh, is that a hint for a sequel? Maybe next
sequel that he couldn't get off the ground for 30 years.
Now look at this kid looking. Come on, be my dad. Be my dad. And he's wearing Cole's necklace. Look at that.
Oh, yes.
He's wearing it tight around his neck. Like he shortened the lace so he could wear it like Rambo style.
Rambo style where it's choking you, basically.
Rambo, you remember when you had this around your neck and it choked you? It choked me too, Rambo.
Remember when you didn't explain to me what luck is?
Yeah.
You want this back?
No. You keep it.
You keep
Can
it
you
because
not
I'm
stay?
leaving you in this country.
I love the boys. Can you not stay? Well, I just answered that question to the other guy.
I like the way he just looks off in the distance.
I don't know how to be a father.
How many times did I tell him I wasn't staying?
Oh, I love how we're getting the Troutman look, Hussein's look. Like, maybe the kid will pull at Rambo's heartstrings and he will stay. Right?
Talk him into staying.
I've got to go.
I've got to go to Burma.
I gotta go be a ferry operator in Burma. It's always been my dream.
I gotta go somewhere a little bit more wet.
Wear a big wet t-shirt the whole movie.
You guys have seen my natural hairline. I've got to go somewhere else. He just turns to Troutman. Look, can we just go, please? Everyone keeps asking me to stay.
They keep asking me, what do I say to them?
Oh, the boy helps Rambo put his leg in the Jeep. You see that?
Yes.
I never caught that before. The boy lifts Rambo's leg into the Jeep. Look at me, Rambo. I take care of you.
Are you my dad?
There you go, Dad. I'm a good son, see? Oh, look at that. Rambo pats his head, and they hold each other.
He's essentially leaving him for dead in this country. I mean,
Hey, I know. It's like...
I mean, they're going to probably kill you tomorrow. They're sending reinforcements.
Yeah, seriously. Like...
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, says Rambo to the kid. Look at that hair. Did it grow in these last few scenes? Did they come back and do some reshoots? Because
maybe it's possible.
Hard to believe, John. What's that, sir? Well, I hate to admit it, but the truth is I think we're getting soft.
oh, there's the nod to the old age.
Speak for yourself, Troutman. I killed 500 people.
Yeah, Troutman, you killed 3 people. One guy had his back to you. The other guy I already knocked out, and you broke his neck on the floor.
But how'd you climb that rope, Troutman? That's the ride home. Is that conversation?
You know how he got up the rope? I think Troutman pretended to be a Russian soldier, climbed on the Russian bear's back. That's how he got up the rope. There's no other way, because how did they not see each other?
Ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous how Troutman got that rope. So this is that nod, it's it's only been 6 years between First Blood and Rambo 3. That's it.
So that not that old.
So I think Sly, oh boy, how old is he here?
He's got to be what, 40?
30. This is 35 years ago, 88. So he is 76ish now, I think, give or take. So yeah, he's 41 or 2 here. Yeah, he's ancient. He is ancient.
Maybe just a little, sir.
Maybe just a little. Now, do I do a laugh track there?
Yeah, that's definitely laugh track material right there.
Okay.
This film is dedicated to the gallant people of Afghanistan.
Who will later come to haunt us in 2001.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if people from Afghanistan saw this movie. Like, did they take this? What did they get from this the message of this movie after seeing?
I know. It's the gallant people of Afghanistan. Now, I really hope we get a song like we did in First Blood.
You're hoping for it. Your wish may come true.
I'm hoping. Yay, we won. Oh, listen to this song. It's beautiful. Beautiful song. We just found out what the song is called. Okay, let's hear a little bit of it first, and we'll talk about it.
The road is long.
So the road is long. Right there. That's the first line. Now, I think with that song being chosen for this film and the first line, the road is long, it's obviously a nod to, well, the name of our podcast, It's a Long Road. So I think it's a very fitting song. I think in Sly's mind, honestly, I think he thought this was the last Rambo film.
I also think he probably listened to like that first line of the song and didn't listen to the rest of it.
He's like, it's got long road in it. Remember in First Blood when they sang It's a Long Road? That's the first line in that song. It's a long road. Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
That's the first line of this film. That's the song.
With many a winding turn.
With many winding turns.
That leads us to hope.
That leads us to hope.
Leads us to hope. Hey, Frank, can you sing this, Frank?
I want my brother to sing it. Come on.
So the singer of this version, now if we first should say, so the title of the song, there are people listening to the podcast who don't know this. There has to be. The song title is He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. It was originally written in 1969 by Bobby and Scott Russell, but it was recorded by the singer Kelly Gordon in 1969.
Specifically for this movie, right?
No.
Oh, in 69.
So Kelly Gordon, he sang it. So Kelly Gordon sang it in 69. He was the singer in 69, but it was written by Bobby and Bobby and Bob Russell. It was stupid. Why would you do that? Okay. Now it was sung again by the Hollies in 69 as well. Then you might find this interesting. Elton John was a session musician at the time. So Elton John had his fingers on this version. He played during that track. Then it was sung again in 1970 by Neil Diamond.
Okay. I don't think I ever heard that version.
Oh, man. Well, there's only one version you need to hear, and that's Bill Medley's version. Now, so Bill Medley sang it, of course, in 1988. So it wasn't really covered by anyone notable for 18 more years. So I guess the general public had forgotten this, right? So he recorded the version for the film Rambo 3 soundtrack. It was released as an official single in the UK, and it peaked at number 25.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised Sly didn't do the old Paradise Alley and sing this song himself. I would have took it.
Oh, man.
That theme song.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Bill Medley's still alive. He's 82 now. You think, oh, who's Bill Medley? Why do we care about him? Well, folks, you might know Bill Medley. Now, listen to the voice again. Listen to his voice, dear listeners, and you'll recognize, once I tell you what else he sung, you'll know it. But listen to his voice.
Knows where. Who knows where?
You know where it is?
I think I know.
But I'm strong.
Is it
strong. Okay, guess.
Is it Dirty Dancing?
Yes, good job, Dom.
You
Good
can't. That
job.
voice is recognizable.
That's Bill Medley. So
I did
Bill
not know
Medley
that.
went from one of the biggest singles of his lifetime.
At the time
The
of
time
my
of my
life.
life. No. Okay, so he sang that song, but he also sang. This is not his first song to sing with Sly or for Sly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. is right. He sang another song, ladies and gentlemen, on the Cobra soundtrack.
Oh my God, he did?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Now, so let's check.
What song is that?
Loving on Borrowed Time.
Loving on that's got to be a credit song too, right? I mean,
If it wasn't a credit song, it should have been a part of the main movie. Come on, it's Bill Medley and Sly, man. I love how Bill Medley was asked to come back.
Yeah, I like his voice, you know. It's better than Frank.
Yeah, I'm not asking Frank. I got Bill Medley, man. Hey, producers, remember when Bill Medley sang on Cobra? I was wondering if you could cover the song "He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother," because that's Troutman. See. Okay, so let's. I'm going to share really quickly with you folks here some of that sequence. Here we go.
Knowing it soon, you will be on your way.
I just think it's so funny that song is attached to Cobra. Like knowing the subject matter of Cobra.
Yeah, I know. Axe murdering cult gang.
It fits.
So of course. So Bill Medley, bless your heart, still alive, rocking and rolling. Here's some of the lyrics to "He's My Brother." No burden is he to bear. We'll get there. For I know he would not encumber me. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. If I'm laden at all, I'm just laden with sadness. Thus everyone's heart isn't filled with gladness of love for one another. This is the song
After he
for
gunned
Rambo
down
3.
500 people and screamed as he smashed a tank into a helicopter. That's the song that ends the movie.
Dom, I officially am going to say the reason why this song was picked for the film, because the next line after what I just read, we're not going to listen to it anymore. It's garbage. But the next line is, "It's a long road from which there is no return." That's the line. That's why he picked the song. Because the rest of it is, granted, he could be talking about Troutman as his brother, because the whole purpose of this film was to rescue Troutman from his failed mission. End of story.
Mhm.
And every death that occurred was Troutman's fault.
So he is heavy then.
He is
His
heavy.
brother is heavy.
All right, here's some quick random trivia, because we don't really do trivia too much. At the time, this was the only film in the series where Rambo wasn't tracked with dogs.
Ah, interesting.
At the time, but in First Blood he was. Or sorry, in Last Blood he was later.
Last Blood, right.
That's a good little trivia. The guy that gives Rambo the money at the end of the opening fight scene wears a stocking cap similar to the one worn by Rocky Balboa's trainer Mickey. Okay, that's kind of stupid. That's kind of stupid. That's a poll. That's a poll. Oh, we said this. Didn't we say this during our commentary of the film? Guess what the working title of this film was? I kid you not.
What?
Full Circle.
Oh, wow.
Full Circle. We talked about this film coming full
Right.
circle, and that I made a prediction. Now I've called it that this was his intended final film of the trilogy.
Right. I guess back then too, like to get 3 films was kind of like trilogies were more common if there were sequels, Movies didn't really go past into the 4s and 5s, right? Back then, what other than like James Bond or something, a trilogy was usually the way to end it.
Yeah, that's fair. Trilogies are solid. The Indiana Jones was originally just going to be a trilogy, and some people wish it still was. Even though I'm very excited to see part 5.
Yes, me too.
I think it's gonna be fun. So the movie company original choice for Colonel Zyson, the Russian, was Marlon Brando.
Oh God,
Marlon Brando, and he even considered it, but
so odd.
He actually did revisions of his scenes in the script, but ultimately he chose not to do the film. But he was asked and he considered it. Can you imagine?
That's crazy. And this is Marlon Brando in '88.
Yeah, they would have to have a second helicopter. Oh, John Rambo's horse also appears in the Indiana Jones film Last Crusade.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. At the time, I think you might or somebody mentioned this before, that this was the most expensive film ever made at the time of its release
Oh,
at
wow.
$63 million. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Because 88's still kind of deep into action films, James
Yeah.
Bond films, everything.
Right,
Wow.
right.
25 million was my check. Let's not talk about that.
Oh, this is why. I just said it. Oh my gosh, I love Sly, but he was peak Sly, you know.
Peak.
So Stallone asked for a Gulfstream jet as part of his pay for the film.
What the fuck? What did you do with that?
He got a Gulfstream jet. That was a cost of $12 million at 88.
You know
So
what I
that's
really
part of-
want? I really want a jet, you know? I was
Yeah,
watching
I wanna-
Top Gun and I was like, this is great.
Yeah, I saw Tom Cruise. He looked fantastic. And he can't fly that thing.
Oh, definitely not.
Hey, Tom, this is Sly. Remember that film Top Gun?
You really fly those? You should maybe show me how to do that.
I flew copters in the movie. You see me do that? In this movie, in keeping with proper, albeit subtle continuity, we see Rambo's scars from First Blood, the scar on his right arm caused by the fall through the trees, and Rambo Part 2, the scar right above his left cheek. There you go.
Mm.
You know, these are real films, folks. These are the real... during filming, Stallone had a close call with a spinning helicopter rotor blade.
Oh, God.
Had he been struck, he would have been decapitated.
Oh, my God.
Stallone laughed off the near miss with the quip, at least I had saved a fortune on haircuts. That's scary. Imagine.
That would have been tragedy. God.
Yeah, we wouldn't have gotten Rocky 5.
Mm-hmm. Some people maybe would have liked it.
Yeah. Okay. The film confirms the status of Stallone as a global star. Despite being unsuccessful in North America, it made double overseas. So there you go. So he's an international star, and that's fine and that's fair. You know, like who cares who likes you or where? The film still made money. It made 157 million on its 62 million. I mean, so it still made double and a bit.
So was it? I guess was there a decline from the ring? I wonder. Like we said before. Like I wonder.
It's weird. It's weird because my brother Ruben on the Going the Distance podcast brought up a good theory that movies will do as well as if the previous film was good, then the box office bump could be good for the next film, but then if the film might not be as good. So I think Rambo First Blood Part 2, we all know it's not as a good film as Part 1, but I think why a lot of people showed up because it was a sequel to a great film.
Right. Exactly.
So I think a lot of people flew under the radar during this initial release, and it made a big wave on VHS and rentals. So a lot of people showed up for Part 2, and it's a fun film. Don't get me wrong. Same with Rambo 3. I think Rambo 3 did as well as it did initially. Probably a big box office weekend.
Right.
But word of mouth got around a little bit. Oh, it's not as good as Part 2, maybe. But what are your final thoughts? We should close here. We did some trivia. People obviously just go on IMDb and you can get all the trivia that you want. Oh, it's the second and last film in the series which Rambo battles Soviet forces. Yeah, because you got Burma Mexicans.
Burma.
Yeah.
It's a little tease.
Oh boy, man, yeah. I really hate Burma people. Your final thoughts on Rambo 3 in general. What are your thoughts here? Your journey throughout the season, and what you got here?
Breaking it down like this, I think I definitely have a new appreciation for it.
For sure.
Still probably not my favorite, but no. I'm curious to see how it compares to 4 after a rewatch of that now. See if, the flaws that are in 4.
I would love to hear. This is where I'm not asking for people for emails. Like, give us emails because, I mean, we don't need them. Per se, we'll just keep going through the movies without any commentary, but I'd be curious to hear from some of our listeners if you want, just to share your overall feelings. And if listening to our breakdown, maybe you too have changed your mind a little bit. So it might be your least favorite Rambo film, fair enough. But I'm curious if our breakdown, though we are of course silly, it's a silly film, so we weren't this way during the First Blood coverage because it's not a silly film.
It's more serious, right?
It's more serious, but I mean, not that we're serious. I'm just saying this film presents silliness, but it's fun, but at the same time, I think it showcases. I'll stand by this. If they cut out the funny lines, it would not be viewed the way it is today. I think it's the funny lines because the action sequences, though over the top, fit with the 80s. It's a commando type action, right? So it fits with the 80s of action. So it's not out of place for the action sequences in the crazy odds of the hero.
Mhm.
That's very common for these films, and even like the John Wick films. Give me a break, really? Nobody can kill the guy.
Right.
Look, I get they're fun and they're fantastic. One bolt to the head, nobody can do it. Nobody can
Right.
shoot him.
Nobody.
Right. So crazy odds against the hero always exist. I think if they just cut out the silly one-liners, this film would have been maybe a silent film, but it would have
Right.
been not as viewed as a silly film. What do you think? I think it's just
Yeah,
the
no,
dialogue.
I'm curious to see if maybe after Sly's done messing around with the Rockies and
Oh
editing
yeah.
them, if maybe he'll go to the Rambos and such.
He listens to my podcast, so what he's gonna do.
That's a great idea. The ball guy said something good.
Yeah, I like that. You know what? I'm gonna embrace my hair too. I'm gonna be like Dom. Italians could be bald, right, Dom?
You inspired me.
Anyways, I love the film. I love talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll say it's a bit of a. Hopefully, people will listen to our 4th season, which we cover the 4th Rambo film, Rambo. I hope. I think now I enjoy it, but I wonder if I'll change anyone's mind as well regarding the way I think this film shouldn't be as. I don't think this film should be as maligned as it is. I think
Mhm.
it's not as bad as people remember. I think people haven't seen it as much because they think it's not good.
Right.
I think it's an excellent Rambo film in that it showcases Rambo's ability as a fighter.
Mhm.
All the legendary status of Rambo that everyone talks about, like Rambo, it's so amazing. It's actually showcased in this film. Like
Right.
everyone talks about what he can do, but I think we're seeing it in full display in this film.
Right. Definitely.
We don't see it in 4 or 5, really. What 5,
Mhm.
yes, with the trap setting at the end, but
All right.
really, this is Rambo unleashed in a
Mhm.
yes, maybe a little bit silly, but it's really everything he can do: stealth, hand-to-hand combat, ingenuity.
Peak Rambo.
Yeah, I think it's yeah. Even though he's getting soft, according to Troutman.
According to Troutman, who killed 2.5 people.
Yeah, maybe a little. Well, stand by for part 4. Oh yeah, you'll be dead.
Oh, that's right.
All right, so yeah, thanks everyone for watching. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching season 3, Rambo 3. It is over. Send us emails, let us know your thoughts. And yeah, rate and like us on iTunes and stuff. It actually does help us. We don't have very many. Give us some likes and reviews on It's a Long Road, the Rambo series podcast. All right, Dom, that's it. The episode's over.
I didn't ask you. You asked me. Nothing is over. Nothing. You can't just turn it off.